Have you heard about that new workflow feature that Wealthbox just added to their CRM? Today we're going to be talking about the new feature that Wealthbox just added to their workflows and how you can utilize it towards your advantage. This new feature is called the Send to Action, and I'm going to show you here directly in your CRM where to access it. So first off, if we go ahead and click on the Workflows tab on the left hand side, and then on the top right, go ahead and click Manage Templates. Here, just go ahead and select any of the workflows that you've already built out. And if not, now's a great time to start looking into building a new workflow. We'll go ahead and click on the first workflow here, our prospecting intro call. On the right hand side, we'll go ahead and click on Edit on our prospecting intro call workflow. From here, you're actually going to see a new feature added, which is this little lightning bolt, which is the add action function within your workflow steps in Wealthbox. So in our case, I'm going to show you what that looks like and how you can start utilizing these add action functions in your workflow steps to your advantage. So here we have a couple of different options that we can select, and one that we have here that is missing as well with any integrations that you have set up within your CRM. So for example, if you have a Schwab Advisor Center, if you have Fidelity Wealthscape, DocuPaste, and maybe some other integrations, you may want to check this action type section. So the first action type we're going to look at today is the email contact. We'll go ahead and just leave this as emailing prospect. And we'll see what this looks like now once we save this action. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that each of these steps has a different action type, so what we can see in real life time of how you can start utilizing these action steps. So we'll go ahead, and this next one we'll use a call contact, so call prospect, save action. This one here, if you see on our CRM, we actually do have something that needs to be done. We're adding tag groups to the prospect that we had just met with. So we'll go ahead and we'll select the third option here, update contact details. We're going to go ahead and search for our tags, and then we'll go ahead and add this as a add tags for the prospect. Another great feature here that I just want to add as well is you can actually edit this, and if you wanted to add multiple different areas of a contact card that you wanted to update, we could go ahead and do that here. So instead of just adding tags, maybe we wanted to do a full account update or a contact card update for this prospect we just met with. We can do email address, gender, what kind of contact are they? Also, we could go into getting their name into the CRM, and we'll show you what that looks like in this next step here. So we'll go ahead and click the green Save Action button. And lastly, our last action type we're going to review is the Send To. And we'll go ahead and, for our purposes, we'll say Send to Schwab or Schwab Advisor Center account opening. And we'll go ahead and again, click that green Save Account Opening button. Again, our last step here, don't want to forget this. We're going to go ahead and save that template, and we are going to go to our example client, Joe Schmo. So under Joe, we're going to launch that new workflow for our intro call that we just had with our client. We'll set it for today's date. And now we're really going to start to see what that looks like. So the difference now that you'll see in your workflow steps in Wealthbox is you have a blue button on the top left of the actual step in the workflow. So again, nothing else changes here on your workflow steps. You still have what's going on, where you're doing it, a brief description in the title, and then a further description if you need it with a further explanation under your description. We still have the assigned to area, the due date, and the priority. And again, you can always still leave comments as you're working through these steps. The one that, again, what we're looking at here today is the emailing prospects. So if I go ahead and click email prospects, this is already going to automatically generate a email template for me that I need. So let's say, for example, We already have the email added to the contact card, and we just wanted to click this button to generate an email for us to send out. If you're not already using this function to send emails out in your Wealthbox CRM, you should go ahead and take advantage of that. So the next thing I'll do here is I will add a subject, great meeting with you. And the last thing that I'm going to want to go ahead and do is just start adding this information. Hey, prospect, great meeting with you today. Hope we can connect soon. And congratulations on the retirement. Our last step here is we're going to go ahead and click the green send button, and that will go ahead and send that off to your prospect. Just to confirm that actually happened, I'm going to go ahead and on the left-hand side here, click on email, and then under emails, we'll see that email that we had just sent to our prospect, an example client. So once this gets done, we will click on complete step, and we'll go on to our next step. So our next step here, let's say we need to call a prospect. We now have that button on the top left corner of the workflow step to call our prospect directly. If you have your phone number already added in here for your prospect and you just need to go ahead and place that call with that green button, your team can easily do that now through your CRM instead of looking towards an external dialer. But again, you have to have your VoIP or your phone system already connected to your Wealthbox CRM. So let's say in our scenario, we do complete this. I'm going to go ahead and complete our step, and we will start moving towards the next portion of our workflow. The one that I see the most value is going to be this function here. So let's say that we just met with this prospect. We know that they're going to be a prospect, but also too, we need to add some more information. Maybe we need to identify what their gender is. Maybe their email address that we weren't able to grab beforehand. The contact type that they may fall under, and their name, and just maybe adding their full name, any middle name, last name, and lastly, if they do have a nickname, you do have an option here to add that as well. So think about this as, hey, like I am filling out the form on the workflow step so that their contact card gets updated in real time. So you don't have to pull up multiple steps to update all of that good prospect and contact information that you have for your clients. Again, last step here is to complete that step in the workflow. And then finally, we have our last send to action that Wealthbox has just added, again, as a new feature in your workflows. So let's say that we have a send to. In our case, we have Laser App as the only connection to our CRM, but if you do have Schwab Advisor Center connected to your Wealthbox, you can go ahead and start importing that information over into Schwab Advisor Center's account opening processor. So what that's going to look like is you'll be able to pull up the first name, last name, social security number, gender, all that good information that you need to open up an account and start adding it into the send to action, and it will open up the accounts for you in real time. So let's go ahead and just review what we went over here. So we just identified how to add that new action button to your workflow steps. Again, if you want to, you can add multiple actions to an individual step. So let's say, for example, you have CSAs that need to input some contact information or prospect information. You can add multiple steps here, and actually within each action, you can add multiple different types of information that need to be added for the contact. Next here, we also discovered that we can now start emailing and calling clients directly within the workflow steps. That's amazing. That's a time saver, not having to look outward towards another dialer or within your own emailing service. And lastly, again, if you have access to and you utilize Schwab, Fidelity, Wealthscape, or DocuSign or DocuPace, you can now go ahead and start sending all of that information over to those applications to start opening up accounts and really just prepping any paperwork that needs to be done without having to convert that copy and paste that we're all used to from our CRM over to those document preparers. If you haven't already checked out our Redtail to Wealthbox CRM migration YouTube video playlist, please feel free to check that out. We know a lot of you are transferring over from Redtail over to Wealthbox, so we just wanted to provide those free guides to you and free video tutorials on how to do that and initiate that process.